वो नारा लगा रहे थे गुस्ताखी रसूल की एक ही सजा सरपंच सुधा बोल रहे थे। मैं बोला कुछ नारे मत मारिए, कानून अपने हाथ में मत लियो, कानून अपना काम कर रहा है करके मैं अपील किया उनको। मैं पुलिस का मुख मन के जीप के ऊपर चढ़ के बोला आप ऐसे वैसे नारे मत मारो। पुलिस उसको अरेस्ट की है और उसके ऊपर FIR हो रहा है, आप लोग अपने घर को छाती दी जाए करके बोला। फिर वो नहीं सुने, मैं बाजू मस्जिद में जाकर मस्जिद का माइक लेकर उनको मैं जो अपील किया वो मैं आपको ये नंबर पर सेंड करता हूँ। पॉलिटिकल लिंक नहीं, ये लोग टोटली जब हुबली के अंदर कुछ इंसिडेंट होते हैं तो कुछ लोग है ग्रुप आते हैं, लेकिन ये टोटली नया पेश था, नए लगे। ये सबका 30 ईयर्स 22 ईयर्स के अंदर के लोग हैं, इनको कभी भी कानून की मार नहीं पड़ी। वो लोग इतना किसी की सुने नहीं। अगर फ्री प्लान है तो दोनों का मिल के बोलूंगा, फ्री प्लान गलाटे करने वाला को और पूरे चलने वाला को।
If it's pre-planned, then both should be punished. But till this video wasn't actually analyzed, till it wasn't accessed by Times Now, this particular Congress district president of Hubbali has not done his part, viewers. He represents, at least if you are to believe his bosses, a party that believes in inclusive politics. This is not inclusive politics. Deepak Bopanna joins me. Deepak, these protests, these vile slogans are being uttered despite timely action by the police. Can you confirm that the police actually acted? They didn't wait for these provocateurs to show up there? This almost reminds me of Chori Chora. This is terrible.
Yes, Rahul, we should understand that on the 16th, while this social media post, of course, went viral, there were a lot of people who gathered outside Abhishek Hiremat, who, of course, posted this social media post, which, of course, created a lot of anger amongst a community. They gathered outside the house. There was, of course, a risk that they could attack the house and him inside. The police at that point in time have gotten hold of him. They've taken him from that location, taken him to the police station, and were, taking up the complaints that were coming in. We should understand during this time, like the Congress leader, who of course says that he was there, he, along with several other people and even an AIMM leader as well, went to the police station asking the police to take stringent action against him, to register an FIR. All of this was happening while, the crowds that were gathered outside began to shout these sort of slogans. Now, the shocking part here is while the police, of course, were saying that, they are going to take up the FIR, they are going to register it under the relevant sections that that apply to this particular case because of what he has done in terms of a social media post and also disrupting communal harmony and various other aspects. The people wouldn't just listen. What they wanted was instant mob justice. What they were calling for is beheading of this particular person. They wanted the police to hand over the accused to them so that they could behead him if you go by what the slogans that they were raising. The Congress leader himself confirms that these slogans were raised at that location. He of course says that he tried to tell them not to do that. Now we should also understand that we've also accessed a couple of FIRs in this particular case where the police themselves say that many police vehicles, while policemen themselves were trying to get to that particular area to ensure that the law and order is maintained, they were attacked. And they say that the police have not acted in this particular case, and we should kill them. They've in fact this is an account of one of the policemen whose his account itself is mentioned in the FIR, where he says that he had to leave his bike there and flee as his bike continuously was pelted with stones. He too was injured after a couple of stones hit him. Like you were mentioning, of course, about a dozen policemen here have been injured. Another jeep as well, which came in with policemen towards the people who were gathered outside the police station. They too were threatened with murder. Stones were pelted at their vehicle as well. So it's quite shocking that all of this transpired while, of course, the police had this man inside the police station taking up the complaint, willing to listen to the crowds that were there. So what was the reason behind actually shouting such slogans, calling for beheading of a person? Now the police, of course, on their part are saying that all of these videos are in their possession, apart from the videos that were shot by some of the rioters there, which they have gotten hold of. The police teams itself have recorded certain footages. Over 100 people taken into custody as of now. Questioning is going on as to who were the instigators, were there any organizations behind it or any political parties behind it, and all the unseen hands and all of these aspects now being investigated.
Well, Deepak, just stay on with me because viewers, you won't believe this. There is actually a group of political parties who came out and protested the fact that the police later on affected arrests to ensure that these hate mongers are being brought to justice. In fact, they called it heavy-handedness, the BJP state government's heavy-handedness. Several policemen are beaten black and blue. There is a massive assemblage of people outside their police station calling for their beheading, as well as the accused beheading. There was a rationalization of vigilantism. And there are political parties, mainstream political parties, I'm not talking about fringe groups, viewers, mainstream political parties saying that heavy-handed action against a community is visible. And this is what appeasement is doing. It is emboldening the fringe. And viewers, I'm not singling out one side or the other. There are Yati Narsinganans, and they should also be acted upon. And they are. And there are protests. So it's happening on both sides. But this, viewers, is never highlighted. The onus is always on the majority community to keep the peace. And if there is action against minorities who've stepped out of line by using language such as this, and once again, viewers, I want to talk about the fact that this particular footage will distress people. It is provocative, but it is by no way endorsed by Times Now. And most importantly, the purpose of airing this video is to bring hate speech to the notice of authorities so that timely action can be taken to apprehend all of those who might be liable or likely to repeat. Now listen to what Tanveer Ahmed, JDS leader, had to say about the arrests that police made to punish those who were uttering these frightful slogans. Listen to this.
Provocation and stone throwing is definitely not going to help both the communities. Whatever is the provocation, the stone throwing is definitely not an answer. But the fringe elements at both the sides are absolutely taking use of the situation. Who is suffering here? The country is. And the police have arrested more than 200 people, and we don't know how many of them are innocent there. We need to really determine, discuss and see whether they have arrested culprits or they have arrested innocents. Because right now we all know that the heavy-handedness of BJP towards a particular sect of community is really shown across the country, and this is exactly what the Karnataka Chief Minister is also following.
Again, viewers, an attempt to rationalize this unhinged reaction. There's nothing else to say, it's unhinged. Now listen to